Home is your greatest asset, so let Precision Concrete Cutters help you preserve and protect it.
Go to pccnd.com for a free estimate and to learn more.
Both sides want action. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The White House says President Biden is encouraged by the ongoing bipartisan talks in the Senate on gun violence.
Step one is to try to get a deal. As I've said repeatedly, I hope that'll be sooner rather than later.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell says he's hoping for something that makes a difference on issues related to recent mass shootings, including school safety and mental health. Democrats want more.
We know we won't get it all done at once, but the American people want us to get something done, and they want to see Republicans do something and do something real.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he's giving more time for the talks. Actor Matthew McConaughey, who's from Uvalde, Texas, is challenging lawmakers to act on proposals ranging from red flag laws to background checks and waiting periods to buy guns.
Responsible gun owners are fed up with the Second Amendment being abused and hijacked by some deranged individuals. These regulations are not a step back. They're a step forward for a civil society and the Second Amendment.
The Oscar winner visiting with lawmakers and President Biden after spending much of last week in his hometown, grieving the 21 lives lost in the mass shooting at an elementary school. Transitory wasn't the right word. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen admitting again that she was wrong on inflation, but telling senators she didn't envision multiple COVID variants and a war in Ukraine at the time.
There's no question that we have huge inflation pressures, that inflation is really our top economic problem at this point, and that it's critical that we address it.
She defends the administration's handling of the economy, though, echoing the White House argument about a position of strength after trillions in COVID relief that Republicans say overheated the economy. America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know that most adults with autism are unemployed, and a major hurdle is the lack of job opportunities? That's why Autism Speaks is teaming up with Lee Container, the J. Donald and Laurel Lee Family Foundation Fund, and Delivering Jobs to create a more inclusive workforce in the U.S. Are you an HR professional, community leader, or business owner? Join us in creating a workforce where people of all abilities can contribute and thrive. To learn more, visit autismspeaks.org/employment.
Big news! Greta Van Susteren is back. She's the host of Newsmax's new show, The Record with Greta Van Susteren. Starting June 14th, Greta reports on the really big stories you need to know. She's smart, tough, and always fair. Get the latest info about her new show. Text the word Greta to 39747. Millions are making the switch to Newsmax. Find it on all major cable systems and streaming platforms. Don't miss this. Text Greta to 39747 now. Texting enrolls for automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
We'll have mostly cloudy skies through this evening and tonight with a slight chance for a couple light scattered showers. Temperatures will bottom out in the mid-50s throughout the overnight hours, and we'll rebound back to 72 for your Wednesday afternoon. A slight chance for a light sprinkle or two across the area, but most of the region is going to remain dry with partly cloudy skies and light wind. And as we head into Thursday, we'll see the breeze picking up a bit around 10 to 15 with highs in the mid-70s. From the Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
Today's weather is brought to you by Summit Carbon Solutions. The ethanol industry is critical for the North Dakota economy and our farmers. Summit Carbon Solutions is opening new economic opportunities for ethanol producers and helping maintain a strong market for corn growers while generating millions of dollars in new property taxes to help local communities support our schools and hospitals. Visit summitcarbonsolutions.com to learn how this project is driving the future of agriculture in North Dakota.
One more time, got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate and dance so free. One more time, this got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate.
The Chris Berg Show, where faith and freedom reign.
One more time.
Well, yesterday, the United States of America broke another record. Yes, we broke another record here in the great United States of America, one that I don't want to share with you, and it's just the facts, the truth. Yesterday, we had the highest gasoline prices on record, highest ever in the history of the United States of America. We're going to talk about that much more because earlier today, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was on the Hill testifying. They touched on inflation and what's happening, obviously, with fuel costs. And it's just, actually, I'm going to ask you in a minute some questions and just see what you would do, how you would respond to this situation. Because here's the thing. By the way, welcome to the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth. It's like, again, it's your one-a-day vitamin of truth. Just show up, get your little daily dose of truth, and go on about the rest of your day, knowing that you've been filled with the truth to help set you free. We're coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studio, helping you and America fuel better. As you're out driving around today, please stop into your local PetroServe USA. Here's where I get the most upset when I see inflation and gas prices going up. And we've talked about this before, but the biggest problem I have is that inflation is really theft, right? You see these gas prices going up. They're basically stealing money from you. And the problem I have is that, look, let's say gas is $5 a gallon, which it's going to be anytime soon. So let's just say hypothetically gas is $5 a gallon. But if you're knocking down 250, 300 grand a year, okay. Maybe you make one less trip. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, makes really, really good money. And he said, hey, Chris, if this thing keeps going up, I may take one less trip a month, to the Twin Cities. But where I really get upset is the fact that if you're someone and gas goes to, $5 a gallon and you're making $30,000, $35,000, $40,000 a year, now it's a different conversation. I mean, I lived through this. I remember my mom having to look at me at times and thinking, hey, do I feed this kid or do I go put gas in the car? Those are the kind of conversations. If you're in that sort of income bracket, those can be the kind of conversations that you're having is what kind of food am I buying? Am I putting gas in the car? Like, those are not the conversations that we want to be having, especially when you and I both know that there is such a simple solution to this problem. And look, maybe because you tune into the show, you've had thoughts of being president of the United States, or if I was in that person's shoes, here's what I would do. But I'm going to presume many of you have never even had a moment in your life actually going, hey, what if I lived at 1600 Penn, right? Like, what would life be like? So let's just take a moment and you start to ask yourself, what would life be like? Let's say you're president of the United States for a moment. All right, you are the president of the United States right now, and you see what's happening to gas prices. What would you do? What would be your solution to solve this problem that is permeating every single facet of American life? Because the problem is, we've said this before, is that when fuel prices go up, and there was a great interview from Steve Holstrom, the president of the company here. He interviewed the president of Hornbachers recently, and they said, Steve, one of the things that people may or may not actually fully digest or realize is that every time a truck backs up here to drop off the food, the prices are going up. Not because we want them to go up, because the price of the fuel is so dang high, they just have to pass that along to us. That's the other piece. I'm going to go on a tear today. I cannot stand it when I hear these people, which you're going to hear Janet Yellen, our Secretary of Treasury, say this in a moment. You hear Joe Biden say it all the time. And corporations, they need to pay their fair share. I will never forget this. It's when I was on TV. And I'm sitting with Congressman Colin Peterson, right? Good old blue dog Democrat, good guy. Well, many people don't realize, like, he's a CPA. He's an accountant. He gets numbers. And I remember he and I were sitting there in studio one day doing the interview, and he goes, Chris, the one thing that many people don't think about, corporations don't really pay taxes. Corporations don't pay taxes. And he's like, let me explain. All corporations do is they just pass that off as an expense to the consumer. So guess who's ultimately really paying the higher taxes, which Democrats want to raise again? Guess who's ultimately really paying the higher taxes? That would be you and me. So not only are they stealing from us with the Federal Reserve and inflation, but now they want to raise taxes on corporations. Boy, am I rhyming today. Now they want to raise taxes on corporations, and they're going to simply just, oh, okay, here you go, Mr. and Mrs. Consumer. Here's some more expenses for you, because I ain't paying these taxes, which we have time at the end of the show. Amazon's looking to get a property tax break here locally. So let me just share with you what happens when, which by the way, so coming up here in a moment, I'm going to play some clips from Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen. I also have to get to this clip from, if you know, U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow out of Michigan. you're going to hear exactly why. And we've said this before. The energy cost is planned. They are trying to make fossil fuels, cars, vehicles cost prohibitive. So you just go, you know what? Forget this. I'm not paying $8 a gallon. Just give me the EV and get me out of this deal. And the problem is that when do the gas prices impact you? Today or 3 years from now? That would be today. They are impacting you and your family today, not 3 or 5 years from now. That's why what Debbie Stabenow says is really, really important. Let me give you an idea of what it looks like when you've got a president and administration, and rather than putting America first, they put America last. This is according to Congressman Lance Gooden. He says this, he tweeted out recently, in Joe Biden's America is where 36% of Americans have now reduced their savings. Again, you can't do anything about it. It's taking out your disposable income when gas prices go up, food prices go up. So 36% of us reduced our savings, 21% have reduced their retirement savings, and 25% have delayed retirement altogether, which when you think about the workforce issues, may not be totally bad if some people are putting off retirement, but probably not their first choice. All right, let's get to a couple of these clips here from Secretary Yellen from earlier today. She was on a Senate hearing, many of them asking her questions about inflation, fuel prices, things of that nature. I'm going to play some of these clips and do some analysis for you. Here's Secretary Yellen from earlier today. Thank you, Super Producer Chris Larson. I got to remember to share my screen. Thanks to Sarah Set of Fargo. Here you go.
As I indicated in my response to Senator Wyden, I believe there's a lot that Congress can do to ease the cost burdens that households are experiencing. With respect to energy,
Listen to this.
Administration has done everything that they can to bring down energy costs. For example,
The gall. Remember, this is Secretary Young, the Secretary of Treasury, who stood up and told us recently, gosh, I'm really surprised. You know what? When I said inflation wasn't going to go on that long, and now I was wrong. My bad. Sorry. And now you've got the Secretary of Treasury sitting in front of a Senate hearing, trying to, with a straight face, not even blushing, tell you and I, hey, this administration, they're doing everything they can to bring down energy prices. In fact, they're even going to Venezuela. They're even going to Saudi Arabia. What? Have you heard of the Bakken? Have you heard of the Permian Basin? Have you heard of Alaska? Like, does that mean anything to you since you are the Secretary of Treasury for the United States of America? They're not doing anything to obviously impact what's going on there. In fact, she tried to even suggest in front of the Senate hearing, like, hey, they've got all these oil companies that are sitting on leases. They're not doing anything. And thank goodness for Senator Crapow. He jumps in and says this.
that they have not yet drilled and
But the
certainly
permits
can
for
do so.
proceeding on those leases are not being facilitated. I mean, the president's executive orders have shut down the Xtel pipeline.
Now, why am I playing this for you? Look, I know it's painful for you to sit here and listen to Secretary Yellen a little bit, right? I get that. My point to you is that they don't care about you. For a Secretary of Treasury to sit there and with a straight face say, hey, the administration's doing everything they can to lower energy prices. What do you think? We're stupid? Don't treat me like that. Don't treat your fellow Americans like that. But that's what they think. That's what they think.
They have stopped the issuance of more leases. They've stopped the progress on the permitting of those leases, stopped the offshore oil production. The fact is we were energy independent and now we are not. And it's not the result of the failure of our capacity.
We may be energy independent and we're actually
Here we go.
exporting oil, but we're part of global oil markets, which are subject to geopolitical influences.
It's just so sad, again, that she's saying this, because think about it. If we actually go over to Saudi Arabia and start taking more oil from Saudi Arabia, which is being suggested now in this administration, the other thing that nobody talks about is now we got to send over tankers and fighter jets to protect the tankers to get through the canals over there and cross the Atlantic and get back to the United States of America. Total waste of money when we could just go, hey, people in the Bakken, let's pump some oil. I have to play this clip for you because otherwise we may run out of time. So she goes in and talks about meeting Secretary Yellen about climate change. And, it's really important that she actually wraps it up talking about how it's critical that we understand, because of the geopolitical situation happening in the world today, that we have more wind and solar. That's going to solve the problem, is more wind and solar. So then they go over to Senator Debbie Stabenow out of Michigan. And this is what I want you to listen for, because this whole thing is planned. I believe they're trying to get rid of the fossil fuel companies because fossil fuel companies probably typically put more money into the Republican political coffers. And just listen to what their strategy is here. And now Debbie Stabenow, do you know how much it is for a Tesla these days? You want to get a decent Tesla, it's gonna run you 40, 50, up to 100 G's, right? So inflation is up, everything else is going on. Do you got an extra 100 G's for a Tesla? Most people don't. Here's what Senator Stabenow says at this hearing today.
With us, I do have to say, just on the issue of gas prices, after waiting for a long time to have enough chips in this country to finally get my electric vehicle, I got it and drove it from Michigan to here this last weekend and went by every single gas station. It didn't matter how high it was. And so I'm looking forward to the opportunity for us to move to vehicles that aren't going to be dependent on the whims of the oil companies and the international markets.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning. The whims of the international markets, and we are sitting on barrels and barrels and barrels of oil that we could be pumping into our own economy to create more energy freedom, more great jobs, more tax revenues, Democrats, if that's what you want, right? The more oil we pump, the more tax revenue that you're going to generate for yourselves, because you're going to get a piece of all that. But no, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They just want to continue to push towards these electric vehicles, which then takes lithium and again enriches China. Ay. It's so hard to believe that these people are running the show, and we'll see what happens here, obviously, coming up in November. All right, stay with us. When we come back, very special guest is going to be joining us in studio. We've talked about this before. If you're a small business right now, obviously you're going to be looking at costs and what you can be doing to save money and ideally give yourself more time to go out there and be generating revenue. I call them revenue generating activities. So special guest from 702 Communications, Brian Cromit's going to be with us. Also want to remind you, please, if you're someone out there in the blue collar industries, first and foremost, thank you for what you do. Secondly, if you need a new pair of work boots that are protective for your foot, do yourself a favor and go to Red Wing Shoes. You can check them out online. It's redwingshoes.com. Again, redwingshoes.com. Or better yet, go see Teresa at 3003 Main Avenue in Fargo. Again, that's 3003 Main Avenue in Fargo. You sit down with her. They actually customize the boot for your foot so you can feel great. Really simple, really fun. Go check them out. Stay with us. We got much more coming up right here on the Chris Berg Show.
Your farm and business depends on a reliable source for energy. PetroServe USA is the customer-owned co-op committed to being a stable source of fuel for your equipment and propane to dry your grain. We have the capacity to make sure you never run out of fuel and to keep prices stable. Dependability, competitive prices, and exemplary service. That's PetroServe USA, helping America fuel better.
PetroServe USA.
Call today.
Hello, my name is Blake Hankey and I am running for district judge. I've been an attorney for 18 years, litigated thousands of cases in a variety of practice areas. I love this community and being involved. I'm a 1994 graduate of Fargo South High School, a youth hockey coach for the Fargo Youth Hockey Association, and the current mayor of Harwood. My family and I would appreciate your vote on June 14th. For more information, please visit hankeyforjudge.com.
Paid for by the committee to elect Blake Hankey.
Is this what you hear when you call your shop? Hi, this is Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Forward Auto Care. We know you've got places to go, things to do, and people to see. That's why Fix It Forward promises to get your vehicle in quickly, repairs done properly, and you safely back out on the road. With 2 convenient locations in Fargo and Moorhead, our speed of service is the service that you deserve. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
Cybersecurity professionals safeguard our lives and businesses from malicious attacks. At the University of Mary, we educate those ready to face these challenges in our local communities and across the globe. Through our cybersecurity administration degree, which can be completed on campus or online, you can make our world a safer and more ethical place to work and thrive. Attend the University of Mary for your degree in cybersecurity. Learn more at umary.edu/CSA.
Hey, it's Alex Taylor. I'll be at Three Lions Pub on 13th Avenue in West Fargo this Thursday, June 9th. Join me from 3:30 until 6:30. Thursday's trivia night, and along with that, their food and drink specials that include $2 off all basket meals. I'll have some of those popular flag hats to give away, and Three Lions gift certificates too. And the blackjack table's ready for play. There's always a lot of fun at Three Lions Pub. Bring your friends out for food and fun Thursday at Three Lions Pub in West Fargo.
Making dreams come true. That's what the Outdoor Adventure Foundation can do with your help. Have some spare change? Use it to impact youth under 25 that have been diagnosed with life-threatening illnesses and disabled veterans go on a hunt or a fishing adventure of a lifetime. Go to OutdoorAdventureFoundation.org to see the testimonials these life-changing adventures bring. And you can help with your spare change. Text to the number 21,000, give to OAF. That's give the number 2 OAF. Your spare change can make a difference with the Outdoor Adventure Foundation.
Panic on the brain, world has gone insane. Things are starting to get heavy.
Panic on the brain. The world is how many of these days when you're going around just walking around with friends and family, you're like, man, like the brain, people are just panic on the brain. It's just it's insane. Panic on the brain. It's insane to try to digest exactly everything that is happening today, especially when we have people high up saying, yeah, we're doing everything we can to lower fuel prices. Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. Coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studio, helping you and America fuel better. One of the things that we really enjoy doing here at Flag Family Media, because it's a small business in and of itself, is really trying to work with small business owners and say, look, we know how valuable your time is. So how can we help you, generate more revenue per unit of time? So you can really go focus on building your business rather than worrying about your business, not having panic on your brain. And one of the ways that we do that is share with you a great opportunity to work with a company like 702 Communications and really help solve some of those. Really, cybersecurity is the conversation these days.
It's got to be.
So joining us right now in studio, CEO of 702 Communications, Brian Cromit. And I'll let him kind of explain it, but I want to talk more about the cybersecurity aspect, because it just can seem daunting at times, especially if you're a small business owner. What are some of the key things if I'm a small business guy that I know I have to have locked for the cybersecurity thing to be safe?
Yeah, I mean, so you and I have been talking for a couple of weeks now about all of the things you need to have in place. And let's say you have that. Let's say you have that firewall from us. Let's say you have us doing updates on your computers and stuff. Then the next thing is, are you sure that your employees aren't opening that email attachment that is going to deliver a payload directly into your network? Or are you sure that somebody's not going to be phishing for information and do it in such a sophisticated way that they're going to think that this is a request coming from you, or it's a legitimate request from one of your vendors, and they're going to reach out and be socially engineered to the point that they're either giving away money or giving away information that shouldn't be in anybody else's hands.
So how does 702 ensure? Because I get some of those emails here, and I always kind of get them, and I'm pretty good about not clicking on them. But how do you guys help, just in case some guy like, I'll just click on this?
Yeah, so we offer training basically for your employees, and we use a program that allows us to have a dashboard that we will then work with you to deploy testing basically of your employees, like how many people who got this email requested information, clicked through the link, opened a document that they shouldn't, and then you get to do assessments and training opportunities then tailored to the employees that really need that extra little bit of help. Maybe they're really good at not opening that attachment, but maybe they're reaching back out to reply to an email that really shouldn't have been replied to anyway. They take it that next step to give that spammer an opportunity, or that to try to extract some more information.
And the thing that I'm hearing you say is like, as a small business owner, I mean, I do sales and stuff, so I'm always focused on, hey, what are my revenue generating activities, right? But if I all of a sudden, have got a something going on my computer crashes, I've got a like, to me, that's downtime that I just cannot afford to be down. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's especially hard, like you say, when you're a small business owner and you've taken all the steps, right? You've been as responsible as you can be to make sure that your technology is in good shape. But you have still this last line of defense, which is your employees base. And if you aren't sure that your employees know, and how can your employees know?
Right.
I mean these scammers are so sophisticated. These cyber criminals are so sophisticated. They come out with new ways, and to try to get into your network or get your information, they come out with something more plausible looking every day. And so your employees really need to be really hyper aware, while all the time they're super busy, right? They're trying to do as much work as they possibly can for you because we've got labor shortage. Maybe they're doing the work of two people or, whatever else, but we still need to have that cybersecurity top of mind in your workday.
I'm curious because coming up next, we've got Sean Riley. He's the CIO of North Dakota. He's out at Ignite ND, which is all about cybersecurity for young people. I mean, could you basically, like, let's say there was a plethora of cybersecurity experts out there. I mean, could you essentially just hire them all right now because there's so many problems in this arena?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Every single business should be worried about this. I mean, like you say, every one of us gets an inbox full of bad emails every day. Junk catches a lot of them, spam filter catches a lot of them, but some of them, they just look plausible. I can't even tell you, how many times we've seen like an email come in that talks about your recent Amazon purchase. Well, if you're not super savvy, are you thinking, did I just order something on Amazon? Did somebody get a hold of my credit card? Did, whatever. But if your employees then know first step I need to look at is, did this actually come from an Amazon email address? Or is this coming from somebody at gmail.com? Just a sophisticated, spoofing activity. So
and the problem is that once I click on that email and click on the link, I guess I'm sort of ignorant to this stuff. So then what happens? And as a business owner, what does that mean for me?
So yeah, it depends. It depends on the scam. Either you're going to be making contact with a call center somewhere, which is going to try to extract credit card information, social security information, anything like that, so they actually can take your money. Or you are going to open a link or open a PDF to look at an invoice or something like that is possibly going to install some sort of malware or something on your computer and infect your network.
Unbelievable. If you're just joining us, the CEO of 702 Communications, Brian Crum, and you can find out more at 702com.com. But they do a great thing called managed services, where essentially if you're a small business owner, you're like, look, I just want peace of mind. I don't want to have to worry about my cybersecurity or my network or any of that kind of stuff. Check them out, 702com.com. Now, backups as well. You and I spoke earlier, and you mentioned something about, I don't know anything about this stuff, Outlook 365 and backups. And
yeah, so a lot of us are moving to Office 365 these days, and so we're taking files, especially email. If you've been an Outlook user for years, you've got files and backups on your own computer. You've got a PST or an OST or something that's on your local drive that keeps the data that was in your inbox. With Office 365, that doesn't get backed up by default. So maybe you're thinking to yourself, I've got Office 365 now. It's in the cloud. It's backed up like my Gmail is or something like that. And it's always going to be around. Well, it's not. And in a business, if you're running a business and something accidentally gets deleted, you can't call your server admin and say, hey, I need to get this file restored from the backup, because in the Office 365 environment, by default, that doesn't exist.
so what do you do?
Well, this is where you have to, look at, if you haven't before, you need to implement some sort of backup solution where you actually can be actively backing up, those OSTs or PSTs or whatever files you might be storing on a SharePoint site or anything that you're putting in the cloud can be backed up locally. You just have to know it, and you have to find somebody that's going to help you provide it. And that's something else that we're now educating our customers on is, yeah, Office 365 is great, but you still need to be backing something up.
And you would help them do that.
Absolutely.
So the biggest thing I keep hearing from you is, hey, Chris, as a small business owner, I'm presuming most of them are like, look, I don't want to deal with tech. Just let me go build my business. You provide this sort of peace of mind every night knowing that, okay, my tech is good, my website's good. I just need to now go and generate revenue, essentially. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what my managed service team is there for. My managed service team is there to make sure that you've got the right hardware, you've got the secured hardware, you've got updated hardware. We've got your employees trained, not to make the mistakes that could possibly put you at risk. And then you can just do your business.
So if people want to reach out to you, what's the strategy? How do they do that? Is it a free consultation where you come in and go, hey, here's what's going on? Or?
Absolutely. We would love to come out and have a conversation with you, just to talk about what you've got, what you might be looking for, just anything at all. I mean, we're happy to help with an initial consultation for absolutely no charge. Just give us a call at 218-284-5702. Say you heard Brian talking on the flag about managed services and you want to learn more, and we'd be happy to have that conversation.
Can you give the number out one more time, a little bit more slowly?
218-284-5702.
And it's 702com.com, right?
Yes, sir.
702com.com. Let her know, hey, we heard you guys on the flag and just want to find out more. At least to just give me a free consultation about my IT to make sure that I can at least sleep at night knowing that there's not somebody that's going to send me an Amazon email and start hacking all my information or whatever may happen through what's, like you said, these phishing is the right term, right?
Phishing is the term, yeah.
Ryan Krama, great to see you, man.
Good to see you, Chris.
Want to remind you as well, if you're somebody who is looking over the horizon, Jamie Dimon recently said there's a hurricane on the economic horizon, and you're thinking, hey, what are some crypto assets I could take a peek at? Take a look at thereaper.io. Again, it's thereaper.io. Patrick Riley is the CEO there. He'll be more than happy to sit down with you and just, even if you're just crypto curious, have a great conversation about crypto, decentralized finance, whatever that may be. Speaking of Patrick Riley, his brother joins us right after this.
We'll have mostly cloudy skies through this evening and tonight with a slight chance for a couple light scattered showers. Temperatures will bottom out in the mid-50s throughout the overnight hours, and we'll rebound back to 72 for your Wednesday afternoon. A slight chance for a light sprinkle or two across the area, but most of the region is going to remain dry with partly cloudy skies and light wind. And as we head into Thursday, we'll see the breeze picking up a bit around 10 to 15 with highs in the mid-70s. From the Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
The official kickoff to summer is here. Happy Harry's Rib Fest. This Wednesday through Saturday in the Fargo Dome parking lot. 4 days of food and fun, plus nightly live music. Yours to see for only $5, including Granger Smith featuring Earl Dibbles Jr. on Wednesday night. Thursday night, it's an outdoor party with Triple Play Thursday featuring Pop Rocks, Judd Hoos, and Johnny Holm Band. Country star Phil Vassar hits the stage this Friday.
Just another day in paradise. Oh, another six-pack of summer.
And we're cranking it up with Firehouse on Saturday night. All Rib Fest concerts are only $5 to attend. $5. It's almost time. Happy Harry's Rib Fest, brought to you by Walmart, Dakota Magic Casino, Marvin, and Sparklight. For more information, visit happyharrysribfest.com.
I'm Denise Kolpak, and I am running for Fargo City Commission. Service has been an integral part of my life, from my father's service in the Air Force to my years working for United Blood Services that brought me to this community I call home. My entire career has prepared me for this job, and I want to serve for the love of Fargo. My focus on the City Commission will be childcare and, coming from a law enforcement family, safety. Vote for me, Denise Kolpak, for Fargo City Commission on June 14th.
Paid for by Friends for Denise Kolpak.
Hi, everyone. This is Jake Dahl with OnSharp. OnSharp helps businesses grow with powerful websites, apps, and custom software development. I'm here today with one of our clients, Caden Coleman of SIFTech. So, Caden, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me, Jake.
So, Caden, tell us a little bit about SIFTech and what SIFTech does.
SIFTech is an app that allows you to snap, save, and sift through any of your receipts or documents that you've uploaded. I brought the idea to OnSharp, kind of told them what I wanted and how I wanted the app to work, and they took my idea and created a one-of-a-kind app just for me.
So, ultimate question, Caden, would you recommend OnSharp to other companies who are in need of app development?
Yes, I definitely would. I highly recommend that you sit down and you speak with Jake at OnSharp. I did a lot of research on app developers all across the United States. OnSharp had close to 20 years of experience. They will back you 110% and they will get it right.
If your business is in need of app development or a custom software solution, you can learn more about how OnSharp can help at onsharp.com/apps.
With cyber warnings possible from Russia being reported, don't let your business get crippled with an attack. True IT is protecting both large corporations and small businesses with future-ready cyber plans, real-time protection, and backups that will allow your business to continue to operate while others fail. True IT offers network protection at any location. Get your technology blueprint now and see where your tech is strong or at risk. True IT Fargo, toll free at 888-243-1016 or visit trueit.com.
From the kennel to the coop, whatever the season, Fleet Farm has everything to keep your animals happy and healthy. From training your pup to sit season to mastering those retrieval skills season. From clipping your horse for competition season to keeping the backyard birds well-fed season. And of course, loving your pets like family season. There's a reason people say, if Fleet Farm doesn't have it, you don't need it. Because we have it all. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. Coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studio. We are working on getting Sean Riley, our next guest here. So, Jacob, do you have any update for us? Or I know we've got Jack on the line as well. So, Sean right now is at what's called Ignite ND. It's Ignite ND, and they're talking about how they're going to do to try to train young people in the area of cybersecurity. It's a 3-day conference. So we are working on getting him set up for this call. So we've got his assistant, Jekka, on the line with us right now. We are working on it. So, Jekka, when you get some clarity on that, please let us know, and we'll bring him into the conversation, okay? So in the meantime, I want to go back here to this conversation that we were having earlier, because I don't know if we gave it enough time, right? I don't know if we gave it enough breath, if you will, to talk about the fact that where energy prices are going, the impact that they're making on people's pocketbooks. And then when you've got someone like the Treasury Secretary suggest to you and I, hey, we're doing everything we can. We're doing everything we can to lower oil prices, when in reality, they're not doing anything. The only thing that Joe Biden is doing is he's trying to go out to Venezuela and buy more oil from Venezuela, or possibly even enrich the Iranians with the strategy that they're using, because they're trying to get the Iran deal done. And I think the saddest piece, well, not the saddest, but one of the most challenging pieces, saddest pieces for you and I to look at, is the fact that Joe Biden puts these sanctions in place. They think that that's actually going to make an impact on stopping Russia from doing anything. But the worst part about it all, when Joe Biden does not go out and pump oil from the Bakken or the Permian or Alaska, this is what happens. The price of oil goes up dramatically. Now, why is that a really bad thing in context of the sanctions against Russia? Because it hasn't really reduced the need for oil. China's still buying oil. India's still buying oil. All these other nations are still buying oil. The problem is now what's happened is that Russia said, okay, looks like we're probably going to end up lowering the price a little bit on our barrels of oil. And now they've got a whole nother market, with China getting more access to China. They're now getting more access to India and other places. So guess what's happening? Russia is actually becoming richer because of all this. Russia is actually getting richer because of the sanctions and the things that have been done from this administration. Not only that, remember when we were going to sanction the Russian central bank and we thought, oh, this is going to do something. This is definitely going to make an impact. And I said this when it first happened. I said, look, why are we going to go out and sanction Russian central bank when all that ends up really doing is hurting the everyday Joe and Jane Russian, right? They're not Putin. They're not the ones that are yelling at Putin to go and attack Ukraine, right? So why go and hurt the everyday average Joe and Jane Russian? Well, now what's happened is that the ruble actually is one of the stronger currencies out there these days. When you look at the Russian ruble, it's actually one of the stronger currencies out there in comparison to other ones, all thanks to Joe Biden and the sanctions and the way that he's navigated this situation. So, Jacob, any luck here with our guest? So, apparently we are still trying to get Sean Riley to join us here. So until that happens, if that happens, we will get to it. The other piece that I want to share with you, and it's pretty interesting. I don't know if you saw the news, but there's another big caravan headed our way south of the border. So we've got another giant caravan headed our way from south of the border, which who knows what that's going to translate into, right? But my point to you is the fact that Lyle Levy, I love it. He goes, hey, this is called backdoor Russian collusion, the Russian collusion. You know what? Nothing surprises me anymore. When you look at how purposeful this administration is at raising fuel prices and impacting your pocketbooks, trying to force people into EVs and completely change the dynamics of our nation, it's really, really tough to stomach. It's really tough to stomach. So back to what's happening with this caravan south of the border heading our way. If you haven't seen this news, I think what's really interesting, because everywhere you go right now, everybody is talking about workforce challenges, right? We just simply do not have the workforce. In fact, Larry Fink, he's the CEO of Blackstone, like one of the biggest asset managers on the planet. He recently did an interview on Bloomberg and said, look, if there's one thing that I would focus on right now that we need to change dramatically, especially when you look at the demographics of our nation, we absolutely have to change the immigration laws. Like if we don't change the immigration laws, we no longer win the innovation game here in the world. That's how dramatic it is, because we just do not have the demographics to handle the situation. So I say all this because now you've got John Deere, great American company, obviously. John Deere just recently said in 2024, they're going to take one of their big plants in Waterloo and they're sending it down to Mexico. They're sending it down to Mexico. So they're going to lose jobs now potentially in Waterloo, Iowa. And one of the big reasons John Deere says they're doing this, there's probably a couple of them. They're going to admit to one. They just simply don't have the workforce there to continue to sustain what they want to do with this plant in Waterloo, Iowa for John Deere. But the other piece to keep in mind, it was a couple years ago, the union workers there, United, got better benefits, higher pay raise, which, hey, good for them. Good for them, right? We think that's great when you can find people that can actually get increased wages. I think the challenge is now is that John Deere says, look, we need to keep our profitability up, and they're now moving that site down to Mexico. So would love to know your point of view on that. Number to call into the show, 701-271-1100. Again, 701-271-1100. The other piece I want to share with you is with Amazon, and I touched on this earlier in the show, but so Amazon, as we all know, has got this giant building out in like North Fargo, Harwood area, right? It's a big building, very big building. It came in with Cass County assessing it at roughly $119 million. So what Cass County is suggesting is, look, you got this giant building here. We've been good neighbors. This building now is assessed at about $119 million. So we want you to pay taxes based off this $119 million assessment. Amazon does okay. Amazon does pretty well, right? I mean, they've made some money over the years, but we go back to, they always want to go there and say, hey, these corporations need to pay their fair share. Now, this one's a little bit different because of this. What Amazon is doing is they're now taking, I think it's an attorney or some representation from the company of Amazon, and they're suggesting, hey, we don't think we should pay based on the assessed value of $119 million. So they're now looking to cut the assessed value from $119 million down by $22 million so that they can save a couple dollars on taxes. So Amazon now is using, again, I think it's representation, an attorney, somebody saying, look, we want to actually lower this assessed value so that we can save money on taxes, even though you guys have been really, really good neighbors to us. All right, looks like we've got Sean Riley, the CIO of North Dakota, on the line here. Sean, I've literally got 60 seconds, but I know that you're at Ignite ND, so what do you got for us?
Hey, Chris, great to be here. And what do we have? We have 200 teachers from all 180 school districts around the state, from everywhere, all together here in Bismarck, talking technology, talking about the future of the workforce, talking about what their kids can learn in computer science and cyber science. Super good stuff going on, thinking about our kids, our grandkids, how the world's evolving, but awesome stuff going on here over at Ignite.
Good stuff. And you're going to be speaking tonight about changing the future, yes?
Yeah. So, I'm going to give a story. I want to let these teachers know of lives they've changed. And one of them was mine. To be honest, I was a kid who grew up in a lot of trouble and a lot of problems, and by all rights, I should probably be in a prison somewhere. But a teacher helped me, and a group of teachers turned my path. Nice. And I'm going to tell that story tonight. And I think, it just helps to give them the emphasis of what they can become and how they can help shape the future of North Dakota.
Sean Riley, thanks for the time. I know it's short here, but we appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, my friend?
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
All right, take care. I want to remind you, if you're somebody right now that's been dealing with any anxiety or depression and you're just not getting a good night's sleep, please do yourself a favor and call Siriset of Fargo. The number there is 701-566-5231. Again, 701-566-5231. What happened in Harwood last night? We'll talk about that right after this.
Hello, this is Matt Lehman and Mike Walski with Fargo Roofing and Siding.
We are opening offices in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
If you know someone that is looking for commercial or residential roofing, make sure to tell them about the amazing experience they will receive when working with Fargo Roofing and Siding. We have set the standard for roofing in our region.
For more information or to schedule a free estimate, please visit FargoRoofing.com.
Premium quality, premium service. Daddy, can I sing the song?
Sure, honey, go ahead.
Fargo Roofing and Siding, yeah.
Come chip in some amazing deals at the Meadows or Village Green in Moorhead. Their morning specials include 18 holes and a cart for just $30 Monday through Friday before 11 a.m. Can't get off in the morning? After you get that to-do list done, treat yourself to some golf with the Weekend Twilight Special. Get 18 holes for just $23.50 after 4:30. Take your pick at either location. For tee times, call 218-299-PUTT or visit them online at moorheadgolf.com.
As you know, our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Now Mike has done it again by introducing his My Slippers. And for a limited time, you will save $90 on a pair of My Slippers. This blowout sale of the year won't last, so order right now. These took over 2 years to develop. The My Slippers are designed to wear indoor or outdoors all day long. Made with MyPillow foam and impact gel to help prevent fatigue. And they're made with quality leather suede. Call 800-506-9028 right now. Use the promo code SCOTT, 800-506-9028, or go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, and use my promo code SCOTT. Now, this offer will not last long, so remember, order now with your promo code SCOTT at MyPillow.com, or call 800-506-9028 right now to save $90 a pair on My Slipper moccasins or slip-ons from MyPillow.
Have you ever thought about selling your home but quickly talk yourself out of it when you consider all the repairs, cleaning, inspections, open houses, and the unknown of what price your home will actually sell at? Stop stressing. We will buy your home as is with no appraisals or costly commissions to worry about. You can even pick your closing date. Call me, John Osala with JK Property Partners at 701-306-3229 or go to FargoHomeValues.com. for an instant valuation.
Hello, my name is Blake Hankey and I am running for district judge. I've been an attorney for 18 years, litigated thousands of cases in a variety of practice areas. I love this community and being involved. I'm a 1994 graduate of Fargo South High School, a youth hockey coach for the Fargo Youth Hockey Association, and the current mayor of Harwood. My family and I would appreciate your vote on June 14th. For more information, please visit hankeyforjudge.com.
Paid for by the committee to elect Blake Hankey.
Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose. It's like your little daily dose of vitamin, but it's a daily dose of truth when you tune in here. And really, it's all about giving you more sovereignty, more freedom in your life. One place that might be able to do that, especially if you found yourself as of late dealing with anxiety, depression, not getting a good night's sleep, which I think all of us at some point in our lives could say yes to that, but it's been something that's just been a little bit more pervasive than normal. You feel like, I'm just not myself. I don't know why. I'm telling you, do yourself a favor. Go and give them a call. Check out Siriset of Fargo. The number 701-566-5231. It's a free consultation. Again, 701-566-5231. All right, quickly here, I want to bring in the mayor of Harwood. They had a meeting last night. He actually joined us yesterday. He's running for judge here in our great community, but he's also the mayor of Harwood, and they had an interesting situation last night. Blake Hankey joins us. Blake, thanks so much for joining us. I'll let you sort of set the stage and tell us what happened last night, sir. Can we get some volume, guys? Blake, 1 second, sir. Blake, try again, bud. So, Blake, can you hear me, Blake? We have got the technology gremlins inside the show all day today. So is there a way we can get him figured out, and/or let's just bring him on the phone, guys, if we can real quick, and we'll bring him on that way. So Blake Hankey is going to share with us, but apparently they had something go down last night at the meeting. So as soon as Blake calls in here, we will get him set up and ready to go. Also want to say, as you're out driving home today, because we're coming up on the 5 o'clock hour, do yourself a favor and stop into your local PetroServe USA, helping you and America fuel better. When you stop in there, get some goodies. You can grab some gas, of course, but also grab some goodies. You can walk in. They've got the great 4 for $4. You can get some cookies, a pizza, a soda, whatever it might be. But definitely while you're filling up, run into the store and pick up some goodies to take home, maybe for like a little late night snack. All right. So do we have Blake on the line, guys? Blake is with us. Blake, we've got about 2 minutes. So just give us what happened last night and what took place.
I certainly will. Thanks for having me again, Chris. So we had our regularly scheduled city council meeting last night regarding our public works superintendent. And the commission or the council did vote unanimously 4-0 to terminate his employment based on the internal investigation that I conducted along with George Vincent.
Right. But for people that don't understand the story, so what happened? Why was he terminated?
You know, it was a litany of things, but most recently there was a felony accusation of a felony domestic assault, along with a terrorizing charge, as well as a prior domestic and interference of 911 call that we found out about from November that the city wasn't notified. And so that's what kind of led to this, as well as some other incidents in his employee file from over the last 10 years or so.
So I know that you mentioned to me earlier today that the form had stated something incorrect. Do you want to make that correction right now?
I do. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. The form had said that if the criminal case is resolved favorably for Mr. Stash, our former employee, that the city would consider rehiring him back. And that wasn't said. There was a discussion based on what to do, if that did happen. But ultimately, the city council voted 4-0 to terminate his employment, and there's no plans to rehire Mr. Stash.
Got it. Sounds like you wrapped it up pretty succinctly, my friend. Something else you want to share? Maybe about the fact that you're running for judge real quick again and give out your website?
Hey, hankyforjudge.com. Anyone can go look at it, and I would appreciate everybody's vote on June 14th.
hankyforjudge.com. Blake, thanks so much for joining us. It's great to have you with us, and I know we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right. Sounds good, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, there's just so much happening. I want to remind you, if you're someone out there that does the podcasting, because we started the show talking about the impact of inflation in our nation on your pocketbook and what's really going on there. And the saddest thing is how it ends up hurting the poorest people the most. And I bring all this up because oftentimes I know you're getting in and out of your cars. You might miss a segment here and there. Do yourself a favor, go to your podcast service and just search The Chris Berg Show, The Chris Berg Show. You can hit the subscribe button there. And that way, every single day we end up posting the podcast. You won't miss a beat. Or of course, you can check out all our social media channels as well. LinkedIn is one we've been doing some really good stuff on as of late. So that's at Chris Berg and then the number 1. So again, at Chris Berg, the number 1. Facebook, very easy. It's just facebook.com/Chris Berg Show. So you can join us there. Thank you very much, super producer Chris Larson. Twitter is really easy as well. You go to Twitter and it's just at Chris Berg POV, at Chris Berg POV. If you're into Instagram, we do that too. But also, I think one of the big communication channels these days is Telegram. So we've got to do more to get actively involved there. We'd love to have you join us with that. So just search Chris Berg Show. You can see us there as well. And the nice thing about that is you can share anything you want. And super producer Chris Larson's reminded me about Getter as well. So be sure and join us tomorrow. We got a really good show in store for us. Of course, we'll talk about the news of the day as we always do at the top of the show. If you want to call in, want to remind you, number is always 701-271-1100. Again, 701-271-1100. And then tomorrow, later in the show, special guest. He's calling himself the mental fitness guy for small businesses. And we all know that we can use some of that these days with everything going on. Have a great day. We'll see you here tomorrow.